welcome. Things started with an opening statement from Coach Pollard, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Yeah, it was a really good ball game, and I want to congratulate Mike Bell on a winning season. He's done a great job there, and his kids always play tough and they always compete and they're well coached. It was an interesting ball game. I thought we, gave them some opportunities there in the first and third inning, and they did a good job of capitalizing on them like they did last night against Louisville. We knew it was going to be a bullpen day for us, and we talked about just pass the ball to the next guy. You may have to get one batter, you may get two, you may get an inning, but just give us everything you got, and then we'll hand it to the next guy. We felt like it was important for us to do that for a couple reasons. Number one, it set up our starting pitching for the weekend, so we're able to make a run at this championship. But number two, it sets our starting pitching up for next week in a regional. And we wanted to be able to have Owen Proch get a bullpen and then really be able to extend and Henry as well. And then this sets us up for Cal Johnson to be able to come back on Sunday or next Sunday in a regional. And just a great job by our bullpen of stepping up to the plate and each guy, passing it to the next guy. Two guys beside me, I think, are a great example of persistence and resilience. Persistence today by making Winslow just tough at bats early. Felt like he was feeling for it a little bit. We talked after the previous at bat to the home run and just said, like, hey, get your best swing off. Whether you have success up there in the at bat or not, really make it a point to get your best swing off. And he did that in the ninth. And I just wanted Ed Hart to be in here because Ed Hart has been so selfless and patient. He was throwing the ball really well early. His outings got more sporadic, not by anything he did, just because some other guys were throwing well and he was getting less opportunities. But a guy that's continued to be a great teammate, continued to stay ready, went in today and got his guy. And I just think that Ed Hart's been a great example of resilience for us this year. And he's a guy we'll need over the rest of this weekend and then on into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. Questions? Pass the mic around.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about Macon and how well he's transitioned to the full-time catching role and while balancing the need to be, still a little bit offensive minded?
Yeah, for sure. Well, Macon takes so much pride in his defense and works so hard at being a great receiver. He had a great guy to study and learn under last year and get his opportunities to get his feet wet. But the plan all along was for him to have a chance to step in and be the everyday guy this year, and he's embraced it. I felt like, if I'm being honest, at times early in the year, Macon was trying too hard. He was trying to force the game a little bit instead of letting the game come to him. As the years gone on, he's really settled in and done a great job defensively. But also his at bats, his home runs always seem to come in big spots. He had a big home run against Clemson 2 weekends ago down there that propelled us to a series win, and obviously tonight was huge. But also can't forget the play made to end the inning on the strikeout. Great job not panicking, getting to the ball and making a throw to Jake Hyde to get us off the field.
You talk a little bit about that, your transition, and then a little bit walk us through the home run.
Transition from last year with Stone. Yeah. So yeah, like Coach said, that Stone was he was a great mentor just to learn from last year. Not only just the physical part, but just trying to be a leader on the field. He was our team captain last year, and I just really learned under him just how to be a field general out there, because that's the role of a catcher. But yeah, I mean, I still talk to him. I talked to him earlier in the year, just like going through bats and stuff. But he's been great for me, even now that he's in a professional organization. But going to that at bat, I just wanted to give my teammates a chance to win, and that in mind is just being on first base and just hunt the heart of the zone, just get my best swing off, like Coach said, and results game.
And when it's a bullpen game going into it, does your approach change at all, depending on whether the starter's going to be in there for 2 batters or whether you might get 4 or 5 innings out of the starter?
I don't think it really changes at all. For the guys in the pen, kind of just have a talk every day. Especially for this game, we knew it was going to be a bullpen game. So BK just said, like, hey, get the ball, sprint, pass off to the next guy. So that's what we did today and obviously worked.
Obviously, you guys kind of flexed your bullpen muscle, your pitching depth today, which, I know heading into the season, you love the depth of the staff, but as often happens, right, it took some time for roles to settle and for the pieces to come together. I'm just kind of curious, at what point did you start to feel like, hey, wait a minute, like this is once again becoming that really knockout bullpen?
Yeah, it wasn't until the middle of April when Owen Proch really kind of took that Friday night role and just grabbed it, held it. The first couple of starts that he made in that Friday role, it was a reliever going out there trying to throw the first few innings on Friday nights. But then as he really started to grow into that role and started to give us length and depth, and Henry Zakowski grew into a guy that we could trust to go out there and go 2 and sometimes 3 times through a lineup, that allowed us to really feel comfortable that, okay, James Talon can slide to the back of the bullpen again, where he's most comfortable. You saw it tonight, like he just thrives in that role. He was searching for it a little bit at the beginning of the year in that starter role. And then obviously the job by Reed Easterly and what he's done. And all of a sudden, guys just started to fall into place. Calvert falls into that role of getting right-handers out, job that Gabe Nard's done this year to kind of bridge to get to that back end. And guys started to fall into those roles, but it took Owen Proch grabbing that Friday night role and not letting go of it to allow us to do that.
How did you guys teammates stop from getting, frustrated because this innings went on, he couldn't score runs, and then I guess that shows that this is a pretty confident team.
Yeah, coach talks a lot about process. That's a big pillar in our program. And the whole thing process is not focused on results. You have your set of routines and your mindset that lead you to the correct results. And that we just stay within our process, put together team at bats towards the end of the game. I felt like in the beginning of the game, we were kind of pressing and trying to do too much up there. But later in the game, just trying to have team at bats. We obviously we're going down in the last inning and then just doing everything we can to help team win, just being selfish.
Coach, how much do you feel like the defensive plays kept you guys in the game and not only kept them off the board, but kept some energy flowing when you guys were coming up to bat?
Yeah, I thought we made some plays. I thought we made some plays to get off the field. And I think there was a kind of a feeling in our dugout the whole time, like if we keep this thing close, we're going to break through here late. And between executing some pitches and making a few plays defensively to get off the field, there was that kind of, hey, just keep it right here, and we'll eventually kind of press through to the other side, score some runs.
Anything else? Get one more from Aaron.
Just one more follow-up kind of on what I asked before about the bullpen. I mean, is it hard to stay patient for as long as you guys have been able to do and repeatedly over the years for those pieces to click into place? I mean, how do you not get antsy and just want to lock a guy in in traditional starter role, whatever? Like, you guys have been so patient with that. How challenging is that for you?
This year, more so than any other year in the last several, it took us a long time to kind of figure it out, with the 3 guys that we had starting on opening weekend were out of the rotation within about 4 weeks. And all of a sudden you've got Owen Proch starting, you've got Henry Zakowski starting, guys that were in the bullpen early. So, it's a credit to Brady Kirkpatrick and the job that he's done as pitching coach. It's a credit to this pitching staff that they've been selfless enough to accept some roles that maybe weren't the roles that they had in mind for themselves going into the year. And, and guys have just kind of embraced, like, whenever I'm in there, I'm just going to give everything one pitch at a time and try to do my job and hand it off to the next guy.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank
See you Friday.
Appreciate it.